Thank you so much for coming today to celebrate International Women's Day with us. Our lunch is just one of thousands and thousands of IWD celebrations taking place around the world. International Women's Day is an occasion to stop and celebrate how far women have come, but also to reflect on how far we still have to go before we reach equality. And as we like to say at the Women's Foundation, this is no longer about fixing the women. It's about changing the men. And I want to give a shout out. I want to give a shout out to the brave male champions who are here today. Okay. That queue for the men's loo is getting longer at every TWF event that we hold. So, I'd also like to welcome TWF's board and steering committees, our mentors and protégés, friends from Women Helping Women, Bring Me a Book, and Hong Kong Ballet and Wellesley. Thank you for your support. Of course, all our loyal corporate partners, including today's event sponsor, Thompson, and the many, 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 many individuals who believe in TWF and the causes we serve. Thank you for coming. So this year, we have a very special keynote speaker in Joanna Ho-Tung. And you're going to be hearing Joanna's story of how she set up Kids Gallery so her daughters could have a creative outlet. Fast forward many years, not just her own children, but tens of thousands of children have been through those multicolored doors covered in paint, clutching their scripts, pirouetting in their tutus, and excited about the creative arts. Now, Joanna is incredibly self-effacing. She might be the most modest woman I know, actually. But don't be misled by that modest demeanor. There is real grit at that core, and I know this from our own experience at TWF of nominating Joanna not once, not twice, but 3 years in a row for the AmCham Women of Influence Entrepreneur of the Year Award. Now, many others would have thrown in the towel after year one, certainly after year two. Imagine being an Oscar nominee and coming back 3 times. But TWF stuck to our guns, and Joanna did too. We were determined that this unsung heroine should be recognized. And finally, last year, Joanna won the AmCham Entrepreneurs of the Year Award. And I think this story says a lot about Joanna and the kind of tenacity that it takes to grow a business from one small classroom into a galaxy of regional education centers. Now, at TWF, we love female entrepreneurs. And for all of you working in big companies, let me quickly say that I believe that entrepreneurship is fundamentally not about starting a business. What it is a state of mind. As Guy Kawasaki, the former chief evangelist at Apple, said, entrepreneur isn't a job title. It's the state of mind of people who want to alter the future. So in saluting entrepreneurs, we are at heart saluting girls like Malala and other dynamic and courageous women who are leading revolutions, changing traditional mindsets, and raising expectations of what women are capable of. But we also want more women to found companies and grow companies, not least because you can do this at any age, regardless of social background. Entrepreneurship is vital to allow women to become more economically self-reliant. And extensive studies show that when women are given economic resources in developing countries, their families and their communities also benefit. Yes, women now increasingly drive spending for consumer goods, but that alone is not enough. We want more women to start companies and have economic ownership so they can benefit, their families can benefit, and more jobs are created. This is why in 2013, TWF conducted a study on women and entrepreneurship. Now, as everyone knows, the SME sector is incredibly important to our economy here. Hong Kong has something like 215,000 SMEs, representing 97% of all enterprises and providing 45% of all jobs here. However, there are only 28,000 women employers compared to 96,000 men, and 58,000 self-employed women compared to 165,000 self-employed men. Hong Kong is recognized as a very positive environment for setting up new businesses. We've got an established legal system, favorable tax environment, and low startup costs. But we know from our research that women-owned businesses face particular gender-related challenges. First, the difficulties encountered by women in attracting capital beyond microcredit. Globally, only 5 to 10% of women-owned businesses have access to commercial bank loans, and they account for less than 5% of venture capital globally. Secondly, a lack of technological savvy means women entrepreneurs aren't leveraging technology to the extent they can and should to scale up their businesses. Thirdly, women often lack the same educational advantages and work experience as men, particularly that experience of managing teams and budgets. Fourth, many women feel they aren't taken seriously by potential employees, partners, professional advisors, and they don't have a network of mentors and sponsors to turn to for help. And last but not least, in common with women everywhere, women find it hard to balance family and childcare commitments with the demands of running a business. So this combination of factors are why so many women-owned businesses start small and stay small. So what can we do about this? Well, I am delighted to announce that the Women's Foundation is launching a Women's Entrepreneurs Network in partnership with the Women Business Owners Club, which was founded several years ago by Elizabeth Thompson and Kimberly Wiley. Where are you, Elizabeth? Over there. Okay, great. The initiative will provide female for-profit and social entrepreneurs with knowledge and skills training, mentoring, and networking opportunities. And I'd like to call out some of our fantastic partners who've already committed resources to support us. They include Goldman Sachs, who funded our original research and who, through their 10,000 Women initiative and their partnership with IFC to increase the funding available to women-owned businesses, are an incredible source of inspiration. Also, ANZ, who signed up to be our network title sponsor. Thank you. Google, who are sponsoring us to run a series of workshops to empower women entrepreneurs through online resources. Blueprint, a new co-working space in Taikoo Place owned by Swire, which currently houses 200 entrepreneurs. And Blueprint is also accelerating 11 B2B startups, which were selected out of 150 applications from around the world. 5 out of the 11 have female co-founders. And I also have to mention EY and Standard Chartered, who've just announced a new partnership to promote entrepreneurship. So if there is anyone I haven't mentioned who's doing something in this space, who would like to get involved in our work, please come and talk to us. So our initiatives to empower women entrepreneurs are, of course, just one facet of what we do at the Women's Foundation. Our work spans research, community programs, and scholarships. We're currently conducting research on the burden of elderly care on working women, which is only going to increase given Hong Kong's rapidly aging population. We're also working on a study on how media exacerbates gender stereotypes and hypersexualizes women, which has implications for eating disorders and self-esteem issues for girls and increasing violence against women. Meanwhile, our community programs are helping 300 low-income women to be more financially literate and employable. We've touched the lives of 8,000 local teen girls and boys and their parents and teachers through our teen and life skills programs. We've placed over 600 professional women in rewarding mentoring relationships. We're facilitating best practice sharing for women's networks, returnship programs, and other corporate initiatives to help corporates attract, retain, and promote more women. And we're working with partners like Microsoft to promote STEM subjects and careers as viable and attractive options for women. And a new program that we are very excited about is to teach underprivileged girls to code. I need to sign up too. Last but not least, TWF scholarships are supporting Hong Kong students to pursue their dreams at Cambridge, Ivy Business School, and HKUST. And I'd just like to draw everyone's attention to today's FT supplement on women in business. I don't know how many of you have already seen it, But if you look at it, it somewhat spookily spotlights most of the issues that I have just mentioned. And this, of course, is an incredible validation that we are focusing on the right things. So there you have it. That's what we do. And we really appreciate your support so we can carry on doing what we are doing. Our annual operating budget at TWF is just $3 million US. That covers the cost of our research, our programs, our 25 staff members, mainly young and passionate, wonderful staff, and our tiny, small office in Shenzhen with a lot of secondhand furniture. So we make every cent count, not only because it is the right thing to do, of course, but actually because we have to. So thank you to everyone who's bought a table or a ticket to be here today. Our gratitude to anyone who buys a raffle ticket or makes a pledge. But of course, you all have a critical part to play, not just as donors, but as role models, as parents, as managers, as colleagues, and as volunteers. And I know many of you are already performing these roles, driven by that passion that Guy Kawasaki mentioned, to alter the future. So from today, let us all embrace the entrepreneur inside us to bring about brighter prospects for women and girls and their families. Thank you so, so much for coming. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the lunch. Thank you.